Hey guys, in this video we are going to add a plugin to generate an HAR file while running test. Now when the Cypress finished executing test, this plugin will save a new archive at the root of the project. By default, a HAR is saved to a file with the name including the current spec name followed by .har extension. That means one HAR file per spec file would be generated. But first thing first, are you wondering what is this HAR? HAR is short for HTTP archive. It's a format used for tracking information exchange between a web browser and a web server. An HAR file is primarily used for identifying performance issues such as bottlenecks and slow load times and page rendering problems. The HAR file keeps track of each resource loaded by the browser along with timing information for each resource. This information comes really handy while debugging. So I encourage you to attach this HAR file while creating defect tickets. Now guys, if you're still confused, what is this HAR? Okay, I'll say this is the state of the web. So guys, now imagine you have to open google.com. Okay, so what are you going to do? You're going to open your browser, you're going to go to your URL bar, and in here you say google.com. Okay, since I'm from India, so I'll say google.co.in. All right, fine. Now what will happen after that? So you are initiating a request to the Google server and you're asking for a web page. That's the response. Okay. But guys, on that web page, there would be a lot of resources like, the CSS, the fonts, the DOM, the JavaScript, okay, and many more things. Now, these are called as resources. So when you enter in here, google.co.in and hit enter, in the networks tab, you will see a request is being made for each of those resources. Okay, like so. So there are 33 requests. This is finished. It took approximately 8 seconds. As a tester, we are running our test cases. We can share the state of the web at that point of time with the developer, and that is definitely going to help them to figure out the problems. Okay. Now the thing is, how can we automate this in Cypress? Okay, so let's get started. In Cypress, we have a plugin to generate HAR file. So we go to this Cypress plugins documentation, and in here we search for HAR. And guys, this is the plugin. Let's open that in a separate tab. And it's very simple. So you just have to say npm run. You just have to copy this command, okay, and execute in the terminal. I've already done that. So let's move on the next step. So it's saying in Cypress plugin index.js, okay, we have to add this code. All right. And guys, as you could see in the last video, we talked about before browse launch. So we are going to work on the same event. And in the event listener, we are just going to add this line of code. All right, so let us open Cypress plugin index.js. So this is my Cypress plugin index.js. So I had the imports in here. Then the next thing is in module.export, we have to add this line as well. So let's copy this. And in here, we have to add this line. So next one is, so we in this before launch, I have to copy this and paste that in there. All right, so in here, so this much is done. Let's move on. So what else we have to do? In Cypress support index.js, I have to add this line. Okay, so I just copy this and index.js, I just import this like so. You close this as well. All right. And what else do we have in the documentation? All right, so guys, this is our command. So in the before, okay, because this is per file basis, right? So before hook would be executed before all the test cases, and after hook would be executed after all the test cases are being executed. Okay, so in before hook you are going to say cy.record HAR. So you're going to start the recording, and once all your test cases are executed within a particular spec file, you're going to say cy.save HAR. All right, so currently it works only on the Chrome browser, so that's fine. Something is still better than nothing. All right, and what else can you do? So you can provide in the path. All right, that's fine. So we'll start with the basic one first. Okay, we're pretty good. So let me just copy this before hook. I'll go back to the code. I now copy the after hook. Okay, and paste it. All right, guys, so we are all set. Let's check. Do we have any file with the name generate_har.har? No, we do not have any such file at the root of the project. Okay, let me save this. So okay, the test execution has started. It's very simple, straightforward. Not doing much. The only intent is to capture all the HAR requests being made. Okay, so our test case execution is completed. Now we go back. Okay, and at the root of the project, what do we see? generate_har.har. So this is the file that is being generated. This is a JSON like format. So now the file is generated successfully. Next step is to analyze this. Well, the components of a HAR file can be visualized in many different ways, including from the browser, using HAR viewer, or using a website speed test tool. I'll show you how you can view this HAR file in your local Chrome browser. So guys, open Chrome. Okay, then open your developers toolbar and open this network section. So let me clear out everything. So we just drag this file and drop it here. You could see now, you see drop HAR file in here. You just drop it. All right, so this is the state of web when we executed our spec file. All right, so now imagine you have got 100 test files in your test suite. Okay, so 100 such HAR files would get generated at the root of your project. Now this is problematic, right? So what is the solution? Well, what you can do is inside this you can pass in an object, okay, and then you can pass the output directory. Okay, something like you can say, okay, let's create an HAR directory at the root of the project and then drop this file specific HAR file in there. Okay, but imagine, I mean, if you follow this approach, you got to do it for each and every spec file. That's way too much of work. Okay, now how can you fix this? Well guys, it's very simple. So let me just cut this from here, and I'm not gonna save it, otherwise it would get executed again. Guys, you have to open your Cypress environment.json file, and in here you just have to say HAR, and you have to use this exactly because the library that we are using, the plugin, is basically reading for this particular property only. Okay, so we're going to say HARS_folders, and guys, in here now I'm going to say .har. Okay, and don't worry, even if you have not created this folder would get created automatically. So now you save this, okay, and you run your test cases again. All right, so now at the root of the project, I'm expecting one HAR folder to be created, and then that file would get added to this. Okay, so it got closed for some reason. Let me click on this again. Standard test cases, right? So open Google search, type something into it, hit enter. Yeah, let's observe this section closely now. Once our test cases are completed, then we are going to generate this HAR file. Yeah, so you see HAR folder is created, and underneath that you have the same file. All right, now guys, one more thing. What if you navigate to multiple domains in the same spec file? For example, google.com. In one test case you navigate to google.com, and in the same file you have another test case when you are navigating to bing.com, and in there you are doing the search, right? So how does it work normally? Okay, let's understand that first. So if I in here say google.com, okay, and before I do so I just delete everything. All right, and yeah, let us do this. Let us hit it. You hit enter. Okay, and by the way, I mean, this recording has to be enabled, and by default when you open the developers toolbar, it is in open state. All right, so recording is working. Okay, all right, so in here I want you to concentrate on this domain part. Okay, so let me open this. Since we have worked on Google, so in most of the cases you will see google.com, as you could see in here. All right, now I move to bing.com. okay, now see what will happen. Okay, so the Google requests are gone. Okay, and we now see ping.com. okay, do not have those Google request in here. All right, that's how it works. So if you want to preserve, okay, the request, then you have this checkbox. Okay, you have to check this checkbox, and now if you say google.com, then the Bing requests are being preserved, and you also have this Google information. So you see we have Google, and if you scroll up we have Bing as well. Okay, now how can we achieve that in Cypress using this plugin? At this point of time, guys, I believe we do not have any such functionality. So I have already opened one ticket in here, and this is the ticket number. So in future you can refer to this, and if they provide us any resolution regarding this, then you can follow the same in Cypress as well. So alright, that was about the state of the web when you're executing your test case, and how you can save those and share with developers so that see the problems, and that information may help them in debugging. So I hope you like this. Thank you so much.